Hello and thank you for joining us. President Trump held a first-of-its-kind summit Friday on cryptocurrency. The president and members of his cabinet hosted cryptocurrency executives at the White House amid efforts to bolster the growing industry. The summit comes one day after President Trump signed an executive order establishing a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's value has fluctuated over the years. It reached an all-time high of $109,000 in late January. It's currently valued at about $86,000. An Emerson College poll from December found 19% of U.S. voters said they had traded, invested, or used cryptocurrencies. The survey also found men were twice as likely to use crypto than women. Here's what President Trump said about crypto at the White House Friday.
And last year, I promised to make America the Bitcoin superpower of the world and the crypto capital of the planet, and we're taking historic action to deliver on that promise. From this day on, America will follow the rule that every Bitcoin knows very well: never sell your Bitcoin. That's a little phrase that they have. I don't know if that's right or not. Who the hell knows, right?
CBS News political reporter Zak Hudak joins us now. Zak, we'll get to crypto in a minute, but President Trump threatened tariffs and sanctions on Russia as he ramps up pressure to end the war in Ukraine. How could this affect the U.S.-Russia relationship and President Trump's relationship with Putin?
Lindsay, I think the lens to which we should look through this is that we should look at this through is President Trump's negotiating tactics. We've seen him over the past week when he had President Zelensky of Ukraine here respond very strongly to not feeling like Zelensky wanted peace strongly enough. Trump's response was, we're going to pull U.S. aid from Ukraine. Now, with the bombardment happening of Ukraine's infrastructure from Russia, here is Trump doing the same thing, saying, I'm going to try to hurt you, Russia, if you do not move toward peace. He keeps reaffirming that peace is his end goal here. So he's trying to put both countries in as difficult a position as possible unless they come to terms and make peace. Now, in terms of affecting our trade relations with Russia, it would likely be more minimal. We do not actually do all that much trade with Russia. Before the Ukraine invasion, we were only accounting for about 3.6% of Russia's exports. Now, there are more creative things that could happen. For instance, we could sanction Chinese banks that do business with Russia. That could have a far greater effect. So it'll be interesting to see in the coming days what actually materializes out of that threat.
So let's talk crypto now. What are the administration's long-term aspirations when it comes to crypto?
Lindsay, the long-term aspirations are to improve the national debt. We have over $30 trillion of national debt in this administration, including David Sachs, who is the czar overseeing crypto and AI policy.
The president also, Zach, signed an executive order Friday in preparation for the FIFA World Cup in 2026, which will be hosted by the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Some interesting tensions between us and our neighbors right now. What can you tell us about this?
Lindsay, I view this in large part as a logistical necessity. There are things such as updating visa procedures, making sure that airports are properly staffed to receive the influx of folks who will be going through customs, things like that that will need to be shored up ahead of that. But it's also worth noting that this task force is going to be part of DHS, Department of Homeland Security. So there's clearly going to be an element of this that is very focused on protecting this country as we have this huge influx of foreign folks coming in to see the World Cup. And we've heard President Trump repeatedly talk about criminals coming from both Canada and Mexico. So he almost needs to show that when we have many, many more tourists coming from these countries, that he's finding a way to make sure they are safe and people who do not plan to harm our country.
Zak Hudak, thanks so much.
Thanks, Lindsay.